The procedural texture, filter, as well as layer effect is probably some of the most powerful features in Affinity Photo. So how can you create a wonderful wave design such as this, where you can move the pixels of this wave up and down for each color channel? Well, let's just start right at the beginning. Now you can use any image, use layers, etc. But with this, just go to filters and down to colors, and you can see procedural texture there. Again, go to layer, and you can also do it with a live filter layer. So procedural texture, and you get this panel. Start point, there's nothing there, which is a pity. I wish it would keep the previous settings, but it doesn't. However, you have got presets, so you can always very quickly set up a preset. So with that, just go down here, and you've got a lovely one here of waves, and of course other ones. And I'm going to use this waves one. And you get this equation. It's a fairly simple equation. You might not like all the signs and all those sort of things, but really, if you want to modify it, it's very easy, simply just to add additional values to here. So say you want to say move it up a bit. Now, RY means a relative Y, so you can move it just like that. You can move it back and forth. But say you want to move it up here, simply just go over here and you can put plus B. Now, there isn't a B at the moment, so as soon as you do that, you end up losing everything. That's the same with anything. If you put anything that it doesn't know, it will just resort back to the original image. But I'm going to use a reel. Now, you don't have to, but I like reels. You could just use Z as well, perfectly reasonable. But reel, just set that. And now you can see you've got the B. And what you can do, you can then just click this, and now as you do that, you'll notice very subtle, but you'll see it shifting upwards. And I'm using RY because, of course, it's a wave one and I want it to go up and down. And that's why I went with the RY. I could have gone with the RX and that would have shifted the other direction. But once you've done that, you might turn around and say, well, I don't want it just go one pixel, very slowly. You can, of course, just put a multiplier. So B times 10, say. So then it will, instead of that, now what the value will be 600. So you can just shift it up by that or down. So you can see. Now this one of the things with this, you'll know sometimes you seem to click the one that's going up. And for some weird reason, it suddenly goes down. So you might like just to enter the value, because you can. You can enter 300. So it will hit a certain max and it will stop. But you can enter a value 300 or 400, etc. Now there might be a limit there as well. But it's just as easy than just simply using this. Okay, so you've got this. Now, this is being applied to all of the channels. You can see there, you get this block. Now, I don't know what this block is. This was not here in version 1. So I'm not certain why they've added this new block here. Is that something coming later? I don't know, but it would be nice to see what it does happen. Okay, well, I want this just say for the red channel, well, you can remove, say, the green and the blue, and then you can see what, because obviously they're not being modified now. So the green and the blue untouched, but the red channel, of course, you get that red colour there. And again, you can still modify it. You can see as you do that, it will move up and down. But you can, if you want, just go here, and you can always add multiple ones. Now, you've only got, obviously, four equations. Well, I suppose you maybe had to add more, I don't know. But you've got this at the side, and there's only 4 settings, so it wouldn't make any sense to add any more than that. So I'm just going to go with RG and B. You could use the alpha. You can see there's an A there. That's an alpha channel. Maybe that's what that's for. Maybe multiple alpha channels. I don't know. But you can simply, if you want. And another great thing about this panel is you can drag it out, because sometimes, of course, the equation is a bit longer than, and suddenly you find you're getting cut off. And you think, oh, I can't see what's, and the scrolling is not very good. So what you can do, you can copy it and just simply go and paste it using the standard keys, Control V, etc. and C. So you've got those in there. And you can see I've got B there for all the channels. But now I can also do the other thing. I can just drag that down a bit. So I can always reposition this as well. Maybe you can see the design a bit better. But now you can click here again. So just simply click the R, and that's the way to add any additional parameters for this, or custom inputs as it says. So click there and they will default annoyingly to 0. I would prefer that they default to the thing. There's no copy feature. That would be brilliant. There's no copy feature, but I would say that, it'd be nice if there was. But you can then put different values in. And now you'll notice up here, of course, there is no C and D at the moment, but I will change that in a sec. So put it to some other value, maybe not that much. That's going to be a bit extreme. And maybe 40. So you can see then you've got these settings here. So A, B, and C and D. You could use something better than that, maybe red, green, blue channel, because you can name it. Unfortunately, the text is not very long, so you could probably, it gets cut off. Don't know why they haven't. When you stretch this out, it should stretch that out maybe as well, but it doesn't. Okay, so let's just go up here, and again, I'm using the RY, not the RX. You could, perfectly reasonable, just go C there. And if you make a mistake again, it will just go back to the original. And you can see now I've got there, and I'm going to put a D. So tab off there, and you can see now you've got this super colourful wavy design. And of course you've still got the same functionality as you had before. So you can move that up and down. And of course you can tweak it even more, maybe put different settings there as well. But I've got that. So you can get some lovely colourful designs. And again, you can move these up and down. And as you do that, you'll get different colourful waves very quickly in Affinity Photo. So I'm just going to go with that, which I think is a lovely pattern design. And you could use these for pattern designs. Unfortunately, there is no seamless feature here. That would be another feature I would love to see. I don't know why they didn't add, let's make this a seamless design so it works out to make it seamless, like mirror and all those sorts of things, like a pattern. But what you can do, you've got this. You'll notice up here you've got presets. And it's always very useful because once you click apply, you'll have to type it all in again. So it's really sensible is if you've got something you really like, or you suddenly decide to go off for a cup of coffee or something, you think, oh, I'll come back to that later, and then you have to type it all again, which is not good. So you can go over here and you can create a preset. Now, if the preset already exists, because I think it checks, sometimes you'll find that's not enabled because you might have already created exactly the same equation. It doesn't. So there's some places where it suddenly will turn around and say, no, you can't create it. But here, create thing. And once you've done that, give it a name, of course. Just RGB wave. And you can set a category for it. And I'd say something like colour patterns. It's not a pattern, I know, but it's still a colour pattern design. And create. And you've stored it away, so you can go back to it at a later time. You've got here replace preset, rename preset, and all those sort of features. And you've got a manage preset, which is useful as well. But now, once you've done it, you can apply it. So you can apply. You can also, if you want, once you've created it, you've also got the option down here. If you change some of these presets, you can build up a section of presets. So say I go here, I think, you know what, let's go for 40 or 50. So 50. Now I can go here and I can create a value preset. You can only create something once you've modified it from its original settings. So if you've got it still at 20 or 30 and you haven't changed it, that won't be available. So create, and you can say preset 1. Now you could create multiple presets with that same name in other presets. It only matters to that one. So create preset, and you can see now you've got the default and you've got the preset. So you can go bounce back and forth between that. So if you create colour combinations you really like, then you can save them. Now it means when you click apply, so you click apply, and now if you go back again, we do something else. And again, like I say, you can always go to layer and you've got pattern layers. So you can use this as a great source for pattern designs. And of course, apply effects. There's loads of different filters which you can use. Distort, work great with this as well. Maybe the mirror one looks really nice. So mirror, and you can see you can get a mirror effect very quickly. Simply by number of mirrors, and you can create a variety of different designs from that. However, what you've also got, you've got a repeat procedural texture. You could reapply it. Obviously, it's going to be the same, so it's not much use. But layer and fade procedural texture. So you can actually fade with the image. So you've got here fade procedural texture. You can see you can blend between the two. So darken, and you can run through that. So screen color difference. and so on to create a variety, obviously depending on what you want to achieve. And also you can change the mod setting here, the fade value, go this way, and again, so let's go for difference, go back down there, and you can see the result there, and click apply. So you've got that design, so you can blend it and maybe combine multiple sort of pattern designs together. So you can create this one, go and create another one, and then again fade that with a different setting. And you could create some very unusual colour combinations, especially using difference or darken, etc. But what you can also do, and I'm not going to remove this now, what you can do, go to layer and new live filter layer. And that's why I wanted to mention that, because you can go here and you've still got the same. So colours, procedural textures. So procedural texture, and again, of course it was all the way down here. Let's just go down to colour patterns, RGB wave. So select that and you've got it back again. And you can see you've got the same presets. So preset 1, or default preset, and you've got options like here, which doesn't seem to do anything there. But you've got obviously merge things, but you've also got blending modes, which is really good because you can go here, darken, colour burn, linear burn, darker colour, and you can see you get a whole range of different options. Plus you've got opacity, so you can maybe fade that. And of course, once you're happy with it, close it. And the thing is, it's still live. So it's, in some ways, I find it better than the filters, but there are sometimes when I don't really want that. I just want the filter effect. But you've got it here, layer, and you can see when you create procedural texture, you'll get this weird sort of summation one. I am not certain why they chose that as the icon. Doesn't make sense to me, but I suppose it's a mathematical symbol, and procedural textures are mathematical. So I suppose that's the rhyme and reason why I've gone with that. But you can always remove it, so you simply click there. You can see, again, disable that procedural texture. I think it's a great feature, and the wave option creates some very interesting colourful designs which can be combined in multiple ways. And of course you can blur them and much, much more. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments. Always great to hear from you. If you've got some suggestions about other things that you could do with this sort of filter, how you'll be using it, that's always great as well. Thank you much.